No. 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 Okay, so how y'all doing? Listen, today's book review is on this book here. Okay. You Are a Badass, or subtitled How to Stop Doubting Your Greatness and Start Living an Awesome Life by Jen Sincero. And listen, if you hear rumbling and stuff in the background, there's a big storm coming. I have my window open and like I'm looking out of the window right now. That's why it's kind of dark in here. So excuse me. I don't know. I tried to turn the light on. Should I turn the light on? Let me see. That didn't really help. I mean, I don't know. Let me see. See, now I'm washed out. Now I look like I'm in some kind of film noir or something. Nah. Okay, we'll leave that off for now. All right, so check this out. So I got this book because it was like a bestseller and everybody was raving about this book and quite frankly, I was intrigued by the title, so I said, let me just go on and get this book and check it out. And I got about, I don't know, I think I got about three quarters of the way through, and then I just kept feeling like something was nagging at me all the way through this book, and I kept thinking, what is it about this book that is bugging me? What is it? There's something about this book that is irritating me to no end, and I'm trying to figure out what it is. And I went on to goodreads.com. Listen, all of you guys who are avid readers, if you don't have a Goodreads account, you need one. It's Goodreads, GOODREADS.com. I use it because it helps me keep track of books that I want to read, and you can like make a list of books that you want to read and books that you have. Sorry, I got some in my eye. Books that you have read already. You can get recommendations. You can get into reading groups, reading clubs, book clubs, all of that stuff. So it's actually pretty cool. But I read this review. Let me see if I can find it. Hold on. And once I read this guy's review, I was like, that's the problem I have with this book. So I'm gonna show you kind of if I can pull it up what the Goodreads app kind of looks like. And can you see that? No, you can't see that. Never mind. Okay, so let's see if I can pull this up here, and I can give you. I can read you what this guy wrote because I was like, this is spot on. All right. So here it is. Now keep in mind that I don't agree with everything he said, but there's one thing he said that I was like, yes, that's what's bugging me. Okay. Um, he says, "You are a badass." Feels like a guidance counselor trying to connect with their high school students by sitting down for a rap session and telling them, I know how square you must think adults are, but I know how lame life can get sometimes. Can you dig it? High five. And I swear to God, that was on the nose. On the nose. So I'll give you an example of some of the stuff. Like the tone is what bugs me about this book. I get what she's trying to say. Basically, this book is basically saying that you need to tap into your own inner badass, and that you can basically have anything that you want. You just have to think positively and then actively go out and get it. I mean, it's the same message that we hear over and over from different sources. We hear it from, spiritual gurus. We hear it from church. We hear it from scientists, like positive manifestation. You can manifest the money you want. You can manifest the job you want. You have to say it, speak it into existence. We hear this over and over again. I get it, okay? And I believe that to an extent it is true. I believe in positive thinking. I believe in manifesting the things that you want, and I believe that you could speak things into existence. That's not my issue, okay? That's not my issue. Because this guy basically calls this spiritual bunk. How does he put it? Yeah. It's the same this guy here who his name is Phil. He gave the book 1 star, okay, on Goodreads, and he basically said this is the same pseudo spiritual bunk you hear time and time again from self-help gurus all over the world. It was disappointing, the sameness that I got from it. In the end, all that I felt I received was a sweet-faced pep talk from a well-meaning but naive friend. Okay, so like some of the stuff that she says in here, um, let's see. So the introduction, um, yeah, here we go. Uh, I used to think, so she starts off with a quote, you can start out with nothing, and out of no way, a way will be made. This is a quote from Reverend Michael Bernard Beckwith, okay? And she describes him as a former drug enthusiast turned spiritual enthusiast turned inspirational badass. Okay, so that's her introduction. And then she says, I used to think quotes like this were a bunch of crap. I also didn't understand what the hell they were talking about. I mean, not that I cared, I was too cool. What little I knew about the self-help spiritual world I found to be unforgivably cheesy. It reeked of desperation, rah-rah churchiness, and unwanted hugs from unappealing strangers. And don't even get me started on how grouchy I used to be about God. I always felt like, come on, this is the best I can do. Really, I'm going to make just enough to pay my rent this month again. And I'm going to spend another year dating a bunch of weirdos so I can be in all these wobbly, non-committal relationships and create even more drama. Really? And am I seriously going to question what my deeper purpose is and wallow in the misery of that quagmire for the millionth time? It, period, was, period, a, period, snore, period. The whole book is written like this. I can't. I'm sorry. I can't do it. It's the whole book is written like that. And I just feel like if you're trying to reach to, at least for me it didn't work. For me it didn't work. If you're trying to convince me that this is something that works, positive manifestation is it works, it is effective. Um, Give me concrete examples of how it worked for you. You don't have to talk down to my level. You don't have to talk down to, to make it relatable to people who are not necessarily into spiritualism or not necessarily into church. You don't have to talk down to them. Just talk. You'll be surprised. People will meet you where you are. And to be quite honest, I felt it was a little condescending. The tone that she took, it was a little condescending. So maybe, I'm not going to try to rip her apart like this Phil dude did. I mean, my thing is this. That book wasn't for me. It wasn't written for people like me. It just wasn't. Or anybody I know. Because, to me, it just felt, just like he said, it felt like a guidance counselor trying to relate to his students. And it was on the nose. I don't know if any of you guys watched the uh Adventures of Gumball. I don't know if you guys ever watched that show. It's a cartoon, but it's so not for children. It's totally written by adults. But there's this guy who works there. He's like this hippie, and he's like a guidance counselor. And he's always trying to relate to his students and try to get them to change the way they handle conflict. He tries to get them to do conflict resolution and stuff. And he's like, he practices yoga and he wears yoga pants and a tie-dye shirt. And his attempts are always awkward and they fall short and they're bordering on insulting. And That's this book. So yeah, I out of 5 stars, y'all, I gave Jen, bless your heart, you tried it. You did. But I couldn't I just couldn't finish it. I could not finish this book. Um but I believe, like, I really feel like this will help someone. It just didn't help me at all. I mean, I first of all, I already think I'm a badass, so I came to this book strictly for curiosity's sake to see, what it was all about. Nope. I'm going to end up giving away my copy. If y'all want it, let me know. I'll give it to you. I'm good on this. All right. All right. So next time we talk, I will have another book review. Check my webpage, bibliogeek.net, for a list of my favorite authors, which will be coming. I'll be printing that later today. Check that out, and I will talk to you guys soon. Mwah.